help every one of you have more self-confidence. So you can tackle any person. People don't intimidate you. Because what you need to do is you need to be mental, not emotional. When you make decisions with your emotions, Mr. Crawford, what's the risk?
You overreact.
Overreact? Because you're dealing here. The old caveman brain, you're not dealing here. This is where we have 100,000 years of development as human beings. It's not to respond the way animals do. This is the old caveman brain, the cerebellum. It sits right on the spinal cord. That's the old fight or flight. How did caveman survive? How fast could he or she run, fight? Well, it's still there. But over 100,000 years, through natural selection, we've created this cortex. The cortex is about how clearly you think. And that's the goal. So again, we're going to go right down that road again today. So today we're going to talk about how you can understand you, and to an increasing degree, how you can understand someone else. When you do that, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and think, man, I am great. Second, you're going to be able to meet people easier, build better relationships, and last, you're going to become more successful. And successful means, Mr. Masterman, you're feeling good about yourself. All right. So how many people love roses? Not everyone raises their hand. So I have well, my wife is the aesthetic in the family. We'll talk about it. So we have a trellis over the path that goes down one of Nancy's gardens. I'm the boy. I'm the one that rakes it out. She does it too, but she puts the piles together and I clean them off. We have this tacit agreement. So I love roses. I love red roses. But if we use this as a metaphor, and if I like roses and you say you don't like roses, if I didn't understand flowers, I might look at you and go, you're weird. You don't like a rose? Like, what's wrong with you? You go, there's nothing wrong with me. I don't have to like roses. So when you understand, using this as a metaphor, that people simply are fulfilled in different ways, that when someone responds to you strangely to you, instead of saying, you don't like roses, you can say, oh, there's a flower garden out there. And as I meet people, you can be open to understand them. You can smile. You can say, wow, this is a unique person. Now, whether you've thought about it or not, every one of you is a unique of the species. There will never be another Bernard. There has never, ever been another Bernard. What does that mean? No one has ever had your experience. No one has ever thought the way you've thought. When you were 1 year old, you got the flu, and you cut your finger. So all of those experiences make you unique. So when we take this into consideration in sales, and we meet different people, we have to be open and smiling to understand the uniqueness of a human being. Because in sales, selling is not telling. It's not what you say that matters. Selling is listening. Is trying to understand whether another person needs what you have to offer. I want you to resonate on that just a second. No, wait. Selling is telling people about something. That's peddling. I got this, do you want it? I got this, do you want it? That's how it used to be done years ago. Today there's more competition in sales than, as we used to say, Carter has pills, but you don't understand that. There's more competition out there. So salespeople today, if you just are, can I borrow this for a second?
Absolutely.
If you decide you're going to sell these, a very inefficient way to do it is to say, would you like this? 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 Would you like... No. And waste your time. So in sales, the best thing for us to do is to ask. So today we're going to uncover. When you ask questions and you listen to people, you can infer from their answers what fulfills them, how they're motivated. And the first step we're going to take today is to look at how you are motivated, to provide you with the structure so you can say, oh, that's me, but that's not you, and let that be okay. Because, as we know, variety is the spice of life. But remember, what irritates us, and we started with behavior, what irritates us is when someone does something and we feel somehow that it's being done to us, right? Like, ooh, why are you doing that to me? But now what you've learned, what's really happening? Mr. Fundo, what's really happening? When you meet someone and they say something, do something that offends you.
They can have
Think, pause, just a second.
They can have a different personality than you.
Yeah.
And so you just might take it the wrong way even though they don't mean it. That.
Derry. That's exactly right. It's just that they are different. And you see, different isn't bad. It's just different. If someone likes roses and someone likes dahlias, is the dahlia person wrong? No, they just have their perception is their reality. It's what I like. So how are we going to predict what fulfills people? Now remember, here's old Clint Eastwood. What happens when you meet somebody you don't like? So now let's talk about this physically. I've been talking about this. So this is the cortex. Cortex hears thoughts. Right here, this is the old caveman brain. It's been there since the origin of man. And it's still there. This is still operating. This is where the senses are. This is where the emotions are. Remember, it's fight or flight. Old caveman, to survive. I'm not thinking. It's the same thing that you should do with your cat or your dog. I've got a cat. She has a high D. When she wants in, she gets on the window with her claws outside my window because she knows I'm there. She goes, because she knows that that will cause me to go to the door and let her in. And if she doesn't, then she'll sit at the door and knock on the door. Like, would you let me in? And I say hello to her, it goes in. See, my cat followed me down our lane, I don't know, 10 years ago. And she decided that this was going to be her home. So we let her in. And we also have a cat that doesn't have claws because it was declawed by somebody and sent to the shelter. Well, we got it out of the shelter. So that cat has the house. But the cat that has the claws doesn't have the house because that cat will intimidate the heck out of the cat that doesn't have claws, right? It's an unfair fight. So Biscuit, that's my cat. Oh, Biscuit. Well, when she came in, she was pregnant. We didn't know it. So she, long story short, we call her Biscuit because she had one in the oven. And we called her son Ham, but he didn't make it. Too bad. She was too young, couldn't nurse him, and so Ham didn't make it. All right. So when you're an animal and you don't have a cortex, how do you respond to things? You take the input to you and you do something about it. You respond instinctively, right? That's how we started. But we developed this cortex. And the purpose of the cortex is to help you decide what you should do, whether or not you feel like doing it. And this perplexes all of you. Because that's what happens when you're in your teens and your 20s. You're driven by these instinctive urges, and college is a part of the process to help you understand, well, I feel like going out and having a beer, but I have a test. What should I do? Well, beer seems really good right now. Man, I would really like to do that. Would fulfill me. But should I go and take the test and flunk the next day? You begin to balance. So, we're going to talk about how people are fulfilled today. Because most people, trust me, not most, well, probably most. Most are operating right there. They're just doing instinctively what they feel like doing. But you're going into business or you're going into sales. And if you allow that instinctive urge to drive you, you're going to make bad decisions. Questions? So, what fulfills you? If you want to start, if you are boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, if there's someone who is, you think that you might like long term, a great question to ask, not on the first date. A great question to ask is, what's important to you? Try it. The person will look at you and say, what do you mean? You can say, I don't know what I mean. I'm just curious. What's important to you? Now they don't go here, they go here. Oh, well, what's important to me is, and that answer they give you is a strong input to what fulfills them. So then you apply the 3 whys. And this is how you build a significant relationship. You say, so what's important to you? The person will say, well, my family's important to me. And then you say, why is that? They look at you, well, of course, your family's important to you because I love my parents and blah, 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 blah. You're learning about what's important to them. You're trying to figure out, is this important to me? Are we going to be able to get along here? So they say, yeah. I live in a small town, and there are 4 of us in the family. I've got another brother, my dad, and my mom, and we just do everything together. Second why. So why is it that you always do things together? Say, well, you know, that's what families do. You're supposed to be close. Is this giving you valuable information? It's not? Why?
Because that's an answer that anyone can give. Families are supposed to be close.
Okay.
That doesn't answer why it's meant to.
Ask why again. Go deeper. Families are supposed to be close. Why is it your opinion that families need to be close? Well, because I love them. And I want to be close to them. Does that give you more information? Ooh. This person is a deep feeler. I want to know that. Is that important to me? If not, you can go, oh, let's go have a beer. Let's go have some fun. But if not, you want to probe. And the way you get down to those areas and understand how someone is fulfilled by doing why. That's right. So what fulfills you? When you answer the question, what is important to you? What emerges is the differences between you. Now we're going to go over the motivation model coming up in a minute. here's what I want you to know. The biggest emotional differences between people are right where someone is passionate about something and someone is indifferent. I'm going to go over this in spades coming up. So when you understand this, when you can drive this to the cognitive, and you can say, oh, that's important to you, then if you want to build a relationship with that person, if you want to sell them, then you can go down that path to fulfill them. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, once you turn in your assessments to this page, it must be page maybe 9 or 10. What page? 9, page 9. Now this motivation model is the work of Edward Spranger. Edward is spelled E-D-U-A-R-D. He was German. Edward Spranger. He wrote a book in 1914 called Types of Men. In his book, he hypothesized that all human beings are motivated by 6 core motivators. You see 7 right here, and I'll explain. 6 core motivators. And he said this crosses race, creed, color, natural origin, intelligence. This is what motivates Homo sapiens. And when you took the assessment, you considered everything you've always done in your life up to this point, and you took a snapshot. And you said, for instance, the question might be, if I had extra time today, what would I do? You think, well, would I do this, or this, or this, or this? And when you select the one, in fact, and you accumulate 12 of those, that gives us a strong sense for where you want to be fulfilled and where you're indifferent. These 3 are the business motivators, and these 4 are the non-business motivators. Let's start at the top. First, knowledge and discovery. Knowledge and discovery is the theoretical drive. It's the drive to learn. Everybody has it. Some people are passionate. Some people are indifferent. What's right? There is no right. This is a product of, from birth till now, to identifying what motivates you. Will this be you a year from now? Well, probably. But in college, you're in this flux where you're trying to figure out things. So don't be surprised. I see students whose motivations begin to change, and they will. The older you get, the harder these become. So, the theoretical drive is the drive to learn. And why don't we take that page out, look at the following page. So why don't you turn to page 10. I'll leave this up here. Because I want you looking at your scores as I walk through these motivators. So theoretical drive, knowledge and discovery. So what you have in the graph is, when you're to the right, you're passionate. When you're in the yellow and you're to the left, you're indifferent. In the middle, you're modestly passionate, modestly indifferent. Once again, there's no good and bad. So how many of you are in the upper category in knowledge and discovery? Raise your hands. Okay? Now listen to this, guys. How many of you went to high school or public school in Kentucky? Raise your hands. Now, the Kentucky Department of Education has done a horrible thing for you. They tried to teach you through school that learning was about passing a test, right? You took the old CATS test, right? Well, it's a long story, but I helped get rid of it. Long story. But when you teach people that learning is about a test, then how do you feel about learning? Oh, so I need to learn this to pass the test. So how curious do you become about the world? In fact, this is so horrible because your generation is the one that has this incredible explosion of knowledge that's going on all across the world. More knowledge is being created. Google is there helping you understand all this stuff. So there's not been a time in history when knowing things is as important as it is today. And yet, they teach you that knowledge is passing a test. So, if you're indifferent to knowledge, you can change it. It's under your control. But here's what happens. When you're passionate about learning, and you're up to the right on the scale, when you're on the internet, so Mr. Buelltel, you get on the web, and you click a link. You go, huh, link, link, link. I didn't know that there's a retrograde orbit of one of the moons around Uranus. But why did you go there? I don't know. Because you're curious, right? That's the theoretical drive. So what happens when you are indifferent? So who's in the yellow? It's the bottom one, okay? So what score?
2.0.
Okay, 2.0. It's not an indictment, Mr. West. Not an indictment. All it means is, here's what you do. You say, isn't your return on investment high? Okay. What you say to yourself is, if I learn this, am I going to make money?
Gain something useful.
Gain something useful. Yeah, can I gain something useful? If not, you go click. So you look at a course. You say, medieval history in the... See that indifference? Oh, I don't care. Wait. Wait. There's something valuable in that course you just missed. You think, well, like what? Well, there's a professor up front, and this is a strength and a limitation. You know, the professors here, lots of professors have this strong theoretical drive. And they learn and they start talking about esoteric things, blah, 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 and you go, oh, crap. Like, oh, shut up. She's got to listen to all this stuff. So the key to re-engaging your brain is to ask the question, why is this information useful? See? Then they'll say, oh, the reason is, it's not here anymore, now it's here. Oh, because of this and this and this. So when you learn about medieval history, you learn about the Renaissance. And when the Renaissance, blah, 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 you go, oh, I didn't realize that. And then when you're in a presentation one day, and the fellow has a statue, he has armor in the back. And you've learned about that. And you said, where did you get that armor from the 12th century? And the guy goes, damn. Well, it's from this and this and this. And you said, you know, I learned in a course once, blah, blah, blah. He said, yeah, blah, 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 blah. You know what that is? That's rapport. And rapport is the first step. When you build rapport with someone, they're leaning in. They go, oh, you're interested in what I'm interested in. And you start the relationship building. Here's the other thing that goes on. I have a high theoretical. And I have to be really careful, because if you don't know something, the natural thing for someone that's high in this theoretical to say is, you don't know that? How does that make you feel?
Not good.
Not good, like stupid. Like, who the hell do you think you are? You think you're just the most knowledgeable SOB on the planet? That goes through, right? That's right here. All right. So, stop it. That's a high theoretical. Number one, you take responsibility for that. You go, oh, that's a high theoretical. I have to take responsibility and acknowledge that some people are indifferent. It's a garden of flowers. It's not roses. Next, leadership. Leadership is the drive on the inside. Someone's strong in this, they say. If it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm going to make something useful in my life. Look out. On the outside, it's It's to be fulfilled by being in a leadership position. So who has high leadership scores? Mr. Hold on a second. Mr. I tried to memorize it. Mr. It's not in yet. It's Mr. 4 letters. 3.
Pike.
Pike. Mr. Pike. Okay. Mr. Pike. You have a high leadership score. What's your score?
I'm not for sure. I ranked it second. I remember I did that.
Oh, non-word. Mr. Pike, that's a non-word. And ask me about it after class. But we're going to eliminate non-words from our vocabulary because we want to be seen as professionals and not college students.
Absolutely.
Okay. So your leadership is high. In which of your profiles is leadership the highest? Raise your hands. Okay, Ms. Mitchell. So have you ever been a leader of a group? Yeah. Did you want that? Yeah. That's what fulfills me. I like to be in charge. This is the fulfillment of leadership. And there have been occasions in your life when they wouldn't let you be the leader. You've either thought about quitting or you've quit.
Correct.
Why? Listen, if I can't be the leader, they're going to do some crazy things that I know is not going to be good for me. So why the heck should I be the leader? Okay? Where's that coming from? Is that coming from here? No, it's right there. It says, I'm fulfilled by being in a leadership position. The immature approach is, I'm not going to do it. Take it to the cognitive. Oh, I'm motivated to be in a leadership position. Got it. Is this something I should do? Here to here. Then you can say, well, now wait a minute. I've got all these other tasks I've got to do, all these things. Is this the right thing for me to do? That's cortex. Then you can make a better decision. But if you say, you won't let me be a leader, well, why not? That's here. Return on investment. So return on investment is the drive on the inside to make or save money. On the outside, it's to get a return on investment of time, resources, energy. ROI is a person who has this in spades is a person who prioritizes like this every day. Should I do A, B, or C? A will give me an X return. B will give me X squared. C will give me X cubed. Which one do you do, Mr. Butel? Did you hear me? A will give me X, B will give me X squared, C will give me X cubed. Anyone with a high return on investment? What do you do?
X cubed.
X cubed. Do you think about it? No, I just do that. So your girlfriend calls. Hey, why don't you come over? A, B, C. Return on investment. Well, I got a test I'm studying for. Yeah, but I haven't seen you all day. A, B, C. Yeah, but I can't come over right now. So you're doing here. Instead of doing, oh, she's calling. She wants my attention. Should I do this? Your best decisions come from here, not here. Any questions on the business motivators? Come on, ask them.
I'm in the middle for all of these. What does that mean?
Okay, good. If you're in the middle on all of them, it means that you're flexible. You're kind of motivated this way, and you're kind of indifferent. Now, to you, it's not, you don't feel that. You're just you. But compared to others, other people are massively passionate or massively indifferent. That's not you. And so what happens is, you have a better, because you're more flexible, it's easier for you to understand other people. If someone is passionate about something, they have an awful hard time dealing with someone who's indifferent. It's like me and Mr. West. Me going, you don't know that, man. What block did you get off of? He goes, I'm dropping this class. He doesn't have to talk to me like that. Right. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Come on, ask them. Now you see, here's our DS right here. The questions are popping up, and she doesn't mind asking them. So get in the habit, when a question comes up, ask it. Right. Now, the non-business motivators. Let's start with this one and this one. Spranger originally identified this motivator as the aesthetic. The manufacturer of my assessments has pulled apart the aesthetic from the peace and harmony. Here's what they are. The aesthetic is the drive to appreciate beauty, form, how things look. And that person, if you're passionate on that, when you pass by a mirror, you do this. Because you want to look good. It's not male-female. Males and females have the same drive. You check yourself out. You like to be in settings where things look good. You walk into a store, and the store doesn't look good, you go. Aesthetics? Raise your hands. I'm the aesthetic. True? Yeah. So, now people who are low in the aesthetic don't know what I'm talking about. Now, when someone points out to you that something looks good, you can look at it, you can go, oh yeah. But you don't see it. It doesn't affect you. It's not fulfilling. When you go into an art museum, you're wow. It's like, wow, look at that. Huh, look at that. Now me, low aesthetic, my wife's a massive aesthetic. Me, low aesthetic, I'm watching my wife. She says, wow, look at that. So why is that interesting? Well, look how the brush strokes go. They go da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. I'm learning. Theoretical, right? I'm trying to figure out, like, why? So when you get this, it enables you to appreciate other people and not do this. Got it? Now let's talk about peace and harmony. Now, peace and harmony is the kissing cousin. It is the feeling component of the aesthetic. Now if you've got both the aesthetic, the beauty, the visual, and you've got the peace and harmony, you have that, Miss Griffith?
Yeah, but we're top.
Are those the top two? Okay. So when that happens, when you go in, when you see something that's beautiful, it goes all over you. Like, oh man. And you like to be in environments where that are beautiful and elegant. Music.
Yeah.
Music. Music is the feeling component. So peace and harmony is always listen to music. Because you know that's what they love to do. Now, where is that notion located in the brain? Mm-hmm. Caveman brain right there. That's where that fulfillment's coming from. The question is, when you're walking across campus, you know, one of the benefits of being in college is that you get to meet different people, and when you build a relationship with different people, then over the rest of your life you have built a network. So how many of you walk around campus with earbuds in like this? So you miss the opportunity to say hello. I do this all the time. When I come in the morning, I greet every student. Good morning. How you doing? What's this? Is it me? Why? Because you're buried in your phones. This ought to be an opportunity for you to meet new people. Thus, interesting statistic. What's the number one fear of human beings?
Public speaking.
Public speaking. Number two.
Being judged.
Mm-mm. Death. Death's number two. Millennials. What's the third?
Being rejected.
Close?
No internet, no phone.
Close. It's meeting someone new. How do I do it? Because you're in your phones all the time, right? So you just walk up and say, how are you? No. It's easier to just look on your phone, right? So what you have to do, you're going into sales, you're going into business, you have to network. It's not just having people on LinkedIn or Facebook, it's knowing them. So you can build a relationship. All right, I'm on the subject, off the subject. Guiding principles. Guiding principles is the drive to abide by your system of values, your faith, what your dad told you. Now, when you're strong in this guiding principles, you tend to respond to things this way. Right, wrong. Yes, no. And when you do that, you want to go through your life adhering to your principles. Why? That's how I'm fulfilled. When I do the right thing, I feel good about myself. Yep, that's there. Now, other people are indifferent to this. When you're indifferent, it's not that you don't have principles, but you're open to interpretation. So, Mr. West says, I drink Bud Lights. Bud Light is, I don't know.
No, I agree.
Bud Light is a beer for me. Someone else says, I hate Bud Light. You're crazy. It's inexpensive, you can drink a bunch of them, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's the beer to drink. You see, this guiding principles leaks out. So you tend to be kind of yes, no on lots of subjects. All right. Now listen. A conclusion is simply the point you reach when you stop thinking. What? Because what strong guiding principles people do is they decide on something ahead of time and they say yes, no. Someone brings it up, nope, not doing it. So what happens is you may miss something. You're making those decisions about yes, no here, Mr. West, instead of here. So what do? Well, number one, the person that really upsets you is when you state some principle. You say, you know what? My old football coach used to say, anything that happens after 11 o'clock at night is bad. So go to bed at 11 o'clock, because it's all bad after 11. So a high guiding principles would say, 11 o'clock good, 11:01 bad. So you'd say, what the hell are you staying out till 11:15? You know, only bad things happen. So who's low in that? Okay, so Miss Fife says, there are lots of things that happen after 11 o'clock that are good. You know, I study. Look, see, he goes, oh,
I
no.
judge the hell out of
Oh,
people
yeah,
like
I'm going
that.
to judge
I'm
you.
bad about that.
And he looks at you and say, you're crazy. You look at him and say, I'm not crazy. There are lots of things happen. I can call my mom. I can do this. I can study. Want to get into a fight? This is at the core where we have the biggest differences between us. It's that you're passionate and I'm indifferent. You're all excited and I go, wait a minute, you think I'm stupid? No, this is the flower garden. I'm going to give you the motivators so you can go, oh, that's that one. Oh, I got that one over there. One more. The principle of helping others. This is the drive to simply help people. It's a marvelous, I think, largely American idea. We become a very helpful society. And it's wonderful to live in there because people are always thinking about how to help people. So if you're passionate on this, you will help people, and when you do, it just makes you feel good. Who's there? Raise your hands. Got it. So now, what if you are yellow helping people? Who's there? That's where I am.
I'm just a bad person.
No, hold on. See, good, bad, right, wrong. A conclusion is simply the point you reach when you stop thinking. So open up your brain, Mr. West. There are other alternatives. So if you're low in helping others, and someone that's high in helping others comes to you and says, my sorority is working with the big brothers and big sisters. And these are kids, young kids that haven't had a shot in life, and we're going to raise some money so they can have a new playground. Mr. West says, why are you talking to me? I'm not, I'm just playing. No.
That's about right.
Why are you talking to me? High return on investment. Yeah, but I won't get anything from this. This person says, I mean, you don't care about little kids that don't have an opportunity? Well, I'm not going to give you any money because I don't have any money. And the high helping other says, well, you know, you're pretty crude. That's what you feel like. You know, this is really important. And the other person is indifferent. And it upsets you. Stop it. You just met someone that's not passionate about it. Now, how do you persuade them? I'm going to go one step further. How do you persuade them? All right. Major principle. Mr. Allers. Allers? Allers. All. It's like all people. Allers. Mr. Allers. When you decide you want to pick your girlfriend up for a date, do you go down the street she lives on, or do you go down the street you live on? Are you crazy? What are you talking about? Well, if you're going to persuade her to do something, do you go down the street she lives on, or do you go down the street you live on? Oh, is it any wonder that she doesn't want to do what you want to do? What's the secret to persuasion? It's understanding how someone is motivated. Because when you go down that street, that's where they live. That's what fulfills them. If you try to go down your street and she doesn't live there, she's not going. If you're a sports fan, and Mr. West will continue with you, you like football, don't you?
Baseball.
Baseball, okay, baseball. You like baseball. So you want to go to the Reds game. Reds are playing the Dodgers, you know, big rivalry. You say to your girlfriend, let's go to Cincinnati this weekend to see the ball game. She has no return on investment. And it is Miss Griffith. And Miss Griffith says she's high aesthetic. She likes to be in beautiful places, see new venues. So how do you persuade her? How do you describe the event?
It's a great American ballpark. It's beautiful.
Ballpark, beautiful. Those don't go together. No, yeah, that didn't work. So what do you say?
Museum right down the road.
So you say, I've got an idea about going to Cincinnati this weekend and doing some things we both would love. Understood? Yeah. Like what? Well, I've looked on the web and there's a new exhibit of the art of blah, blah, blah. And I don't know much about art, but you do. And I was thinking maybe we could go there. You're going, oh man, that'd be great. Okay, you got to lean it in. You say, and at night, would you like to go to the most beautiful ballpark in the world? What's that? You got a date.
Don't get excited.
Well, no, just a second. So now the issue is, do you want one?
You know what?
Do you want a date?
I want to go to a museum.
Do you want a date? What's more important?
Not going to a museum, probably.
Then, you know what? Then the number of females that you want to go out with starts with A and ends in about F. You don't get the F through Z because they want to do something that they want to do. And the key to a relationship is you're never going to marry someone who's just like you. Why? That's boring. All right, question.
How would you motivate someone that's high in guiding principles if they're so yes and no, right and wrong?
Are you low?
No, I'm very high.
Very high. So let's talk about the ballpark. So if I know that you want to do the right thing, and, oh, this is tough. How do you use guiding principles? So I would say to you, I sure enjoy our relationship because what I really appreciate about you is that always you're doing the right thing. As a matter of fact, it's helpful to me. It helps me understand how to do the right thing. You're meaning it in, right? It's like, yeah. Okay? I say, you know, we're both different. And last week, I went with you to do this. And I went with you to do that because you thought that was important, and frankly, I had a great time. Now, would you be willing to do something that I'd like to do? See? Yeah, what's that? I appeal to this principle. This principle is, if you do something for me, I'll do something for you. Now, as I went into my brain, it wasn't there, was it? It was right there. I'm trying to think. Because if I want to date with you, I've got to use my cortex. If I just use this, what happens? You make bad decisions. Other questions? Saw some other hands. How are we doing on time? 01. All right, let's see here. So the principle is, if you want to get a date, you got to go down her street because that's where she lives. You go down your street, she goes, no, I don't want to do that. You think to yourself, you're right, wrong. You go, are you crazy? Did you know baseball is America's sport? If you don't like baseball, you got to be crazy. No date. Sorry. You're just an oaf. See? Mr. West? Expand your horizons, man.
All right, I'll go to a museum.
Doesn't have to be a museum. It could be just as simple as, why do you like art? Ms. Griffin will say, well, because of this and this and this. Then what do you say?
Tell me more.
Why is that? Actually, a great question is, really? Gets the person to tell you more. Really? Why is that? Now, it's not natural for you because your theoretical is not strong. You're not used to doing that. Do you want dates? Do you want to be successful in sales?
Yes, sir.
You gotta learn to ask better questions. All right. Today, same message. Success in your life is not about you. It's about how well you relate to others. It's not what you want that's important. If you really want to get what's important to you, you got to help somebody else get what's important to them first. How do I know it? As my grandfather said, you want to get heat out of the fireplace? Put some wood in first. You can't say, heat! No, I'm not gonna do that until you do something. It's the reverse. So, you want to be one with yourself. You want to be successful. You want to feel good about yourself all the time. So, understand you. Understand how you're motivated. Understand your disc style. And then when you do that, you can begin to uncover the uniqueness of others. When you do this, guess what? More successful. Guess what? Smile on your face more often. Guess what? More self-confidence. Monday, we begin our presentations. Team 1. Don't worry, there's no prep involved. See you on Monday. Mr. Rachel.
Oh.